Alright guys, hopefully you like that intro. Today we have two brand new buildings to show off. We officially announced them on Instagram about a week ago, but we've been waiting on some parts to come in to finalize them. So let me walk you through what we have built and how long it took. So both of these are comprised of thousands of pieces, and it took a little while for the Bricklink orders to come in, but let's start with the one on the left. We completed this white hotel, which is modeled after a famous building in Beverly Hills. It's not an old building, it's a new building, but it was built to look like kind of 1950s Art Deco architecture. And we incorporated curved glass facades as well as curved balconies, and it just made for a really nice corner building. So, which building is it modeled after? Well, it's the Waldorf Astoria, and excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, but it's in Beverly Hills, and it was built a couple years back. It's a really popular hotel up there. It's beautiful in my opinion, and while this isn't exact to that building, I do think that it looks pretty close, and we try to incorporate a lot of the details. For starters, we put a restaurant and bar on the top, and we're still working on building the bar out. And then we also put a restaurant at the base, and we did some custom chairs and umbrellas, as well as a terrace with some ivory. Where the base of the hotel transitions to the rooms is a nice terrace area with larger balconies and a lot of greenery. This exists in the real one in real life, and we thought that it was really cool to incorporate it here in the model. Overall, this took about 2 days to build. Now, that was in part due to the delay in Bricklink orders, but we also wanted to make sure that we got all the details right, and therefore we took this one a little bit slower than we normally do, and we think it turned out great. Hope you guys like it. Overall, we think it looks great in the city, and we think that the placement right here, kind of anchoring the corner of the street that leads to the beach, is the right spot for it. Now, the next building to the right was also modeled after a famous hotel. This one in Miami South Beach. Now, I'm not going to say the name of it because I want you guys to guess down in the comments below. We'll definitely make an announcement soon. And the reason why there aren't stickers on it yet is because we ran out of the sticker paper. So we're waiting on that to be delivered from Amazon, and then that will give away the name. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok, because that's probably where we will showcase the stickers first, and then they'll be announced in our next city update video here on YouTube. But this hotel in general is an older hotel. I believe it was built in the 40s or 50s, the real one, and therefore it does have true Art Deco architecture. The one that we built is a couple floors higher than the real one, and that's just because we wanted it to fit in better with the skyline that we have here. And if it had only been a couple stories tall, it would have probably looked a little weird. Now, as a reminder for this city, we're trying to do smaller buildings in the front and bigger ones in the back, unlike our old one. That way it adds a little bit more depth, and you can see some of the smaller buildings with a little bit more detail. And to that note, we did move the old federal building over to its former location, although scooted over just a little bit because over here we're going to be building some new towers as well. And by towers, I mean mid-rise buildings. You can see we've got the construction guys up. They are starting to work on the foundation of the building, and the streets to the left are still being worked on, but they are coming together. We did find a solution for the line over here, which we had mentioned in our former video. There was a comment that mentioned that if we use the white sticker, like the edges of the white that comes with Lego stickers, that it would work well, and it did. So thank you to whoever recommended that. It turned out to be a perfect solution, and we didn't have to use electrical tape. So if I swing around here, you can see that it worked out perfectly, and we just cut it to kind of follow the natural progression of the gray. Now, the skyline as a whole, we're working on filling in, but we're going to take this slow and make sure that we do it right. So there's still going to be a lot of gaps for the time being, just as we lay out the streets and make sure that we plan the buildings out accordingly. We don't want to just throw together some buildings and have it look bad. So we're really trying to take it slow and make sure that we have everything planned out the right way. And to that extent, this building right here is literally just a placeholder, filling in that gap until we come up with whatever we want to put right there. Now, elsewhere in the city, we are still putting things together, still going through a lot of the debris from the move. We've got parts that have come in over here, airport that still needs to be reassembled, and down here it's just pure chaos. Don't even get me started on the room over here. I don't even want to show you guys, but that will all come together soon. This intersection is still a little bit of a work in progress as well. As I mentioned in the last video, we are working on a new traffic light design, so that's why those haven't been really going up. We have a few up just to kind of give you some height in the city, but for the most part, we're working on redesigning the traffic lights. And we're also working on some true railroad crossing signs. which are gonna go in these little round basins right here. So I don't know if it's gonna be a drop arm or if it's just gonna be signage. We're still kind of working through that, but there's definitely gonna be something that alerts pedestrians about the commuter train. Speaking of trains, you'll notice that we replaced the main train in the city for now. The tram that we had running through the city last week is basically being redeveloped so that it can go around turns and be motorized with the 9-volt. So until then, this will be the train that you see running through the city. Now, you may have also noticed that we still don't have a lot of minifigs out yet. They're still packed away. We've been working on filling in the sidewalks. As you can see, there's still quite a bit to be done. There's still some back here as well. And for that reason, we just want to get those set and built first before we add back all the figs. That kind of goes for the pier too, because we're also testing out changing up the shops back here as well as somewhat of the layout of the pier. I don't know if we're going to go through it or not. We'll see. We've been adding some kind of tables and whatnot just to kind of test it out, but that's TBD at this point, so more on that in the future. Now, swinging around, you guys do know that we finished our boat rental area and bridge in the last city update video, and down here is still a work in progress, but let me walk you through it. So as you can see, it's pure builder chaos right now, but these two streets are going to be carried back, and then we're also going to build in probably a train station at this end or somewhere on the backside. Haven't quite figured that out yet, but there will be one likely down at this end. This end is also where we're going to do some of the historic buildings. So we have here the Biltmore Hotel, and there's probably going to be buildings similar to that, kind of, you know, spread out right here, mid to low rise, which will then face likely a park right here. And this will kind of be like the historic core of the city. Now, keep in mind, just because they're older buildings doesn't mean that we won't have older styled buildings elsewhere, like the new Art Deco buildings that just went in. But we just feel like, you know, it's good to mix in some older historical looking buildings with a lot of the modern buildings that we have throughout. Now, lastly, I will just touch real quick on this area over here. I really don't want to talk too much about it because it's pure chaos, but you'll notice that we started bringing the trains over. You'll also notice that here is the tram over here being worked on. But basically, this is going to be a depression or a lower area in the terrain, which will probably be a river with a train bridge going over it. Potentially the road, I don't know yet. But basically, this is going to connect the city area to the rural and terrain area where we're going to build the mountain and everything else. So as we make our way over, you know, we'll start cleaning this whole area up and laying everything out. For right now, it's just a staging area and breaking down the old roads, which we've been incorporating into the new city. So as you can probably tell, it is still a huge work in progress and we still have a ton of work to do. This is going to be our last city update video, probably for at least a week or two. We want to showcase some mocks and some other cool things we've been working on. And we've been doing a lot of city update videos lately, so we're going to try and kind of change it up. But make sure you're subscribed and following along because we will have some more updates coming soon. Well guys, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys like the brand new 2 buildings and we will see you guys next time.